Hi there, and welcome back to Teach Your Own. I'm Natalie, and today we're going to be talking about our next Homeschool Pro. Again, this series called Homeschool Pro is not about us being professional homeschoolers. I don't know if there's such a thing, but it's about the pros that our family has enjoyed, the benefits that we've enjoyed as homeschoolers. Today's topic is one that's very near and dear to my heart, and this topic is family time. We are a family that has an interesting dynamic. My husband is in the military, and we've had to move just a couple times, but he often goes away on long trips and things like that. And what we've had to do is become really flexible just in our lifestyle in general. And one of the things that homeschool has helped us to do is to be flexible even when it comes to the educating of our children. We like to prioritize family time, and sometimes when my husband's away for long periods of time and gets to come back, we like to stop everything we're doing and spend that time with him when he has an opportunity to be home. And so homeschooling has allowed us that freedom. We are definitely not anti-public school or anti-school in any way. I don't think that really came into play when we decided to homeschool. We actually began homeschooling because we were set to move somewhere to a new city, and we weren't really sure whether we should begin our child's education in that city, because she was about kindergarten age, or whether we should hold off and start when we move, because we knew we'd only be there temporarily. We should hold off and start somewhere else. And that was really the way we even the idea of homeschooling even came to us. I think a friend may have mentioned it, and we said, well, maybe we could do that, and looked into it and read a couple books, and then we were pretty much sure that at least for that season for our family it was what we wanted to do. But that morphed into something even greater, and we started to see how homeschooling, especially if you have kind of a strange schedule or work schedule or things like that, and are finding that you want to spend more time with your family and you want more flexibility in terms of your schedule, homeschooling has provided that for our family. And honestly, it's a huge shift. For both my husband and I, we were public school students, and we would go to school, depending on the schedule. I think high school started at 7:30, had to be on the bus at 6:30, come back at 4 if you didn't have activities after, and then go back. And my mom worked and things like that, and family time was kind of a weekend thing or things like that. We discovered for ourselves that we didn't necessarily want that lifestyle. And it's a little bit of a shift. It's a little bit of a mental shift too, because we're not thinking about bus schedules. We're not thinking about lining up to pick up the kids after school. Fortunately, I'm able to stay home with the kids, and I was staying home with my oldest before we decided to homeschool. So we had already kind of made provision to be kind of on a one income schedule and things like that. So all of those things came into play, but the benefit, the pro that I think is the reason that families should consider homeschooling is the amount and the quality of time you can have with your children. And I want to emphasize too that one of the things that we're not about here at To Teach Her Own is the idea of shaming parents for their decisions and their, with their children. That's never the idea. But I did hear a great man once tell me that it's a poor frog that won't croak for their own pond. And that's what this is about. We are croaking for homeschooling because we really think that it has been a blessing to our family. It has changed our dynamic. It has helped my husband and I to even grow closer as we bond over what our children are accomplishing and what our goals for as a family. So homeschooling has just kind of been that for us. It is a mental shift. It is a thinking kind of outside of the box, out of the school schedule, out of the even work schedule thing for us. It has been that, but it provides a little bit of flexibility. I think there's some back ends. I'll give you one example. My husband was scheduled or stationed overseas for about a year, and we had the opportunity to visit him. Now, we visited him as a time that people don't generally travel. And the reason we could do that is because we decided, okay, well, the portions of our school that we're going to take with us, we'll bring it overseas with us, and then or we'll slow down and we won't do as much school for this break of time, because we as homeschoolers, we decided that we're year-round homeschoolers, which is another thing I'll talk about in another video, setting up your homeschool, deciding whether you want to do year-round, whether you want to be part of the school schedule and things like that, make it go along with the school schedule. But for our family, we decided to be year-round homeschoolers. So when he had to go and we went to go see him for a month, it ended up being like a month and a half. half, we just took everything with us and we went. I didn't have to call anybody, leave any messages, get any homework from teachers, anything like that. We just got up and went. And if that is something that you're interested in, or if it's something that you need, many people have interesting lifestyles, or maybe sometimes your child has interests that require that they maybe practice more. I know gymnasts or dancers even, or musicians, that skill and that gifting that they're working on, it gets stressful sometimes when you try to squeeze that into a, sometimes 6:30 a.m. wake up call and 5:30 return from school time. It allows for that flexibility. So that flexibility in terms of using your tools, we'll talk about later in another video. But just to return to talking about family time, the idea that our family can gather around and be present when my husband happens to be home was something that was really important to our family. But the other thing is when I like spending that time with my children while they're very young. I know my children are all elementary age, and I think that one of the benefits of being the primary person that they see and the primary person that interacts with them is that I have a lot of influence in their lives. And I know sometimes homeschoolers get this bad reputation for sheltering their kids or things like that. I don't know that my children are necessarily sheltered. I think we monitor what they are exposed to, like any parent does. But I do believe that there's power in the influence and who influences them and who their primary source of information or their primary source of example is. And so I get that time with them. They see me on my good days and my bad days, in my jammies and my gym clothes. Like, they get to see me live life. And I think that element of family time and just living life together is something I wouldn't trade out anymore. So when I'm doing this and when I'm making videos and setting up, they see it, they're a part of it, and they interact with it, and it's a part of who we are as a family. And again, it builds family culture and family bonding. And I think the fact that it's not something I kind of work around them, but it's a part of our day and a part of our life, it helps just to increase the family bond and to help us connect over things. Another example of that is my husband decided as a family, and he is the principal of our homeschool. So he, sometimes he'll come up with subjects and be like, what, I think our girls can learn this. And so so I end up having to follow through, it's for my good principal, end up following through and kind of coming up with a curriculum or a way to go about meeting that assignment that he gives us. So one of the assignments, I'll give you two examples. One of the assignment that he gave us was to learn French together as a family. And fortunately, he provided the French that we would learn. So it was like an audio book. And we use that French audio, I guess it's an audio teaching, and we'll maybe even do a review of it for you later. It's Michelle Thomas's approach to teaching French, and we absolutely love it. But we might do a video on that later. But we use that, we play it in the car, and it's actually a part of our kind of family curriculum. It's something we all are learning together as a family. And that, of course, can be done whether your child goes to school or not. It's just the idea that we kind of do it on our own time. And another example of my principal assigning things for our family is my husband is huge into films and he loves movies and things like that. And before, we kind of are always wary of how much exposure our children get to film and Hollywood and things like that. But we discovered that we could, as a family, make it a part of our life. And so we kind of reached a compromise that I would teach and read to my children classic books and just quality books, and that he would find corresponding movies that go along with that. And we created this film and lit class for our family. So we read these classic books, spend a year doing it, or however long those books take. Sometimes we do series, and then when we're finished, we reward ourselves by watching it together as a family. Again, these are things that you can do when your children are at school, clearly, but I just wanted to emphasize to you guys that the ideas, part of the joy and the benefit and the pros of homeschooling is you start to think of it not necessarily as, oh, we're just doing school at home, but just what is our family about? What are our core beliefs and our core desires and our core just our plans and our goals together as a family, and we just steward our children in the direction of what we had gotten to see from them as a family. It helps that we are the people that spend the most time with our children when we decide what curriculums to get to them. It helps that we're the ones that are around them the most and can pick up on maybe their giftings and their talents, and then we can turn that around and find the best resources and the best helps for them to make those talents and those dreams and those goals that they may have come to light. And so again, homeschooling is I wouldn't even say it's not for everyone. I just want to say that homeschooling is a possibility. I think what my goal is in doing these videos and in talking to you about homeschooling is just to give you the opportunity to see that it's something that is feasible, that you can, if you'd like to, you can teach your own. Hey fellow homeschoolers, if you enjoyed this channel, please like, share, and subscribe. Also find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at To Teach Her Own.